Hi, Michael Buffer here. Let's get ready for Boxing Arabia.
السلام عليكم متابعين بوكسينج أرابيا. اليوم معنا ضيف كتير مميز، بطل العالم سابق للWBA للسوبر فلاي ويت من عام 2016 لعام 2020 للعام الحالي لمطلع العام الحالي. معروف للعالم كله باسم كال يافاي، وهو خالد يافعي، ملاكم يمني بالأصل بريطاني. هو معنا ضيف اليوم. خالد، السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
It's an honor to have you with us here today. We would like to have this discussion with you to let people in the Middle East know more about you and about your background and about your journey in the boxing so far. So let me first of all start by asking you about, as a Yemeni kid growing up in the UK, what got you into boxing? How did you learn about boxing, and how did it happen that you decided that you want to start the journey in boxing?
Well, I was about seven or 8 years old, we started watching Naseem.
Okay.
And we were huge fans.
Okay.
And then, you know, after we started watching him, becoming big fans, my younger brother Gamal was a very hyper kid.
Okay.
And my mother took him to the boxing club, and he started boxing there. And about 1 month later, I went down there and thought I'll have a go. And yeah, that was it. Then the rest was history. Boxing was in our blood then. But
wow. So you got straight into Gamal. So I want to highlight something for people who don't know. So basically you are 3 brothers, right?
Yeah.
There is you, there's Gamal, and there's Jalal.
Yeah.
Right? And you all are boxers, but that's kind of interesting because I don't know if your family had boxers before. Were you into boxing? Was your dad into boxing, or
No.
your grandfather? It was
Nobody.
you guys who started it.
we were the first ones.
And basically the reason was Gamal because he was over hyper, right?
Yeah. And
That's insane.
He loved Naseem. He loved Naseem.
We all love Naseem, of course.
No doubt.
Of course, Yemen, needless to say, have a lot of boxers that they produced a lot of boxers that are basically legends so far, like Naseem Hamed, yourself, your brothers, Kid Galahad, and now actually also we are receiving the news that also Naseem is preparing his son Adam to become a boxer as well. So it's mashallah, like Yemen is always known for their boxers. So basically what started it was Gamal, huh? That's crazy. Who's the eldest between you?
Me.
You are the eldest.
Yeah.
Okay, and basically how many years are the age difference between you guys?
Just two.
2 years.
2 between me and Gamal, and then Jalal, there's 1 between him and Gamal.
Mashallah. Okay, so basically that's what started it, and then what happened? Like, can you take us through the journey of you entering into the boxing world?
Yeah, so I won my first fight at 11.
Mashallah.
And then I lost my second, and it was one of them where I lost my third, won my fourth, and then I lost like 6 or 7 fights in a row.
Wow.
And it got to the point where my mother didn't really want me to box anymore. But
okay.
I don't know why I carried on, but I went to another boxing club, and the old man there, he taught me how to box properly.
Mm-hmm. He
said I wasn't very good, but I had a lot of heart, and I had good feet.
Mm-hmm.
So he trained me properly, and I started winning all my fights, and then I lost one, and then I won another 20 fights, and then I got picked to box for England, and then that was it. Then I was on my way.
Wow. So that's another thing that I wanted to mention. Like, basically, I'm going to pay a lot of respect for your mom for putting you guys into boxing, because a lot of mothers, and specifically Arab mothers, they're very scared for the children to put them into such a sport, right? So it's kind of like your mom also has a big heart to put you, all 3 of you, into boxing. That's really
but I'm not gonna lie about it. She didn't. She doesn't like it.
Yeah, I'm sure she doesn't. I'm sure she doesn't. But like, she took you guys into it, so there's no turning back now, right?
Yeah, she knew we
Great.
loved it.
Right. So the amateur career was basically a combination of wins and losses, learning experience, learning that you have good footwork and a good heart.
Yeah, and then obviously when I started boxing for England and Great Britain, I was an elite amateur. So I went to the Olympic Games in Beijing. I think I was 18 then, and then I stayed amateur again for another 4 years. And I qualified for my second Olympics at the World Championships in Baku, Azerbaijan. And then I lost in a box off to my teammate.
Okay.
Who had already beat twice before, but he was a better man on the day. And
Okay.
And then I had a break for a little while from boxing, and then I turned pro.
Okay. And then when you turned pro, what year was that?
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
And could you tell us about the experience and the emotions of stepping into the ring within your first debut fight? Like, how did it feel walking into the ring, the announcement of the announcer, like basically announcing your name and walking into the ring, like your first pro fight? Could you tell us about that?
Yeah.
How did it feel?
So it was an amazing feeling. Because normally I was used to boxing abroad. So we boxed all over the world. So none of our family or friends could come. So now obviously we're boxing at home. I made my debut in Sheffield, where Nassim was from. So
Right.
I made it on a Cal Brook undercard, and all my friends had come. I walked to the ring. There's British flags, Yemeni flags. All my family and friends were there, and I got the knockout in the second round against a boxer that was he'd had around 150 fights, but he'd very rarely get stopped. And
Wow.
I think I had six fights in 5 months.
6 fights. Wow. Let's talk about the road to becoming a pro boxer. Like, there's I believe a lot of discipline in there. There's a whole routine of dietary and workout. If you could tell us a little bit about that, because a lot of people from the Middle East think that they want to turn pro, right?
Yeah.
It's not very easy for them to turn pro in the region here. There's not a lot of boxing federations here or body sanctioning. So it's kind of tough, but like a lot of them think at the same time that it's a walk in the park, let's say.
Oh no, it's far from it. It's a tough business. Yeah, as a boxer, myself, I think you've got to be ultra dedicated. You have to basically give your life to this game. You can't really go out as much with your friends when they want to go out, or you can't eat what you want when you want. Lucky for me, I'm one of them guys that I like to be at home a lot, and I look after myself and look after my body. So I don't drink alcohol, don't smoke, don't do anything. So I'm in a nice homely position where I like to stay at home, chill out, spend time with my family, and that's it. But I think you got to keep your head down and work really hard and live the life of a professional boxer. It's very different to a normal man's life.
Definitely. How many hours per week, let's say, do you work out, or like the pro boxer should work out?
So basically, Monday to Friday, I'll train. Some days I'll train at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. I'll be in the gym for 3 hours, and then I'll go home, rest, have some food, and then I'll run in the evening. I'll do running or strength and conditioning, and that will take about an hour. So I train twice a day, Monday to Friday, and then on Saturday I rest, and Sunday I'll just do a long, steady jog.
Wow, that's a lot of workout.
Yeah, but I'll get my rest as well. So
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I mean, for people who think it's a walk in a park, or like it's just a couple of hours in the gym a week, that won't do it.
No.
That won't do it. You have to be very disciplined about your dietary and about your workout. You have to be very persistent and very disciplined to become a pro boxer.
Yeah. Sleep is very important also.
Yeah, of course. I think that's one of the main reasons I didn't turn into a pro boxer. I'm a nocturnal by nature. I don't sleep much. So I think that's one of the reasons. Food will be the second.
That's okay.
Okay. So during your pro career, when I was on your box rec, I saw, mashallah, that you have fought people from all around the world. It was a very interesting record. Like you had people from Panama, from Mexico, from England, from all around the world. Could you name a fight or two that were basically, apart from your last fight, but what would be a fight that you think was kind of challenging for you, like the most remarkable fights during your career that when you think about your career, you think about them, they cross your mind?
The challenging fight was when I won the title against Luis Concepcion.
Yeah.
From Panama. He was a 2-weight world champion, a very big puncher, very strong, and he come in overweight, so he weighed near enough the weight above. And it was challenging because I had to be very switched on. I couldn't take my eye off the ball. I couldn't, think of anything else for the whole 12 rounds. I had to concentrate and make sure I never got caught. And after the fight, when I went back to the changing rooms, I felt very, had a bad headache and I felt very sick because I was concentrating that hard.
Wow.
And obviously in the ring it's very hot with the lights and I think obviously with a bit of dehydration also. But it was very challenging that night, even though when people were watching the fight, they thought it was pretty easy because I won near enough every round in points, but it was challenging.
I want to ask you, actually, this question just crossed my mind right now. Is it distracting, the crowd and the hype around the ring? Is it distracting for the fighter? No. I think I'm one of them fighters that feed off the crowd. Okay.
I like the energy. But I don't think of anything else out of the ring when I'm fighting. I'm just because usually
when we are ringside or when we are watching a fight, usually both trainers are shouting for the fighters. A lot of screams and shouts are happening around the ring as well. Sometimes I think to myself, I'll be like, that must be distracting somehow. Like trying probably to hear what your coach is trying to tell you, or trying to pay attention to what the other coach is telling the opponent. Or like the screams in general, along with the very high light above the ring. I don't know. That's why it crossed my mind to ask you if it could be distracting for the fighter.
No. I think to be a good fighter, I think you've got to have that ultra discipline, and that you've also got to have the discipline to be able to listen and pick out the right voices to listen to while you're at work in the ring. And only certain voices stick out when I'm fighting.
That's fantastic. Shutting off everything else and just focusing on what you need to focus on. That's really amazing, actually.
Yeah, like when you're in the ring, there's thousands of people screaming and they're all telling you what to do, even though most of them don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly that too, of course.
But the only voices stick out are the trainers. My promoter's voice sticks out, and my brother.
Sure. Since we were talking about that fight, that title fight, how sweet did it feel winning that title?
It was a lot of emotions come into play after, because it was something I'd worked for when I was a little child, and we never had the best upbringing. Obviously, we never come from a rich background or anything like that. So all the struggles all hit me at once, and I realised that I'd achieved what I wanted to achieve since I was a little kid, and and obviously I knew that it's not only am I a champion, I knew that it's harder to stay there than get in there.
I mean, you were a champion before that, but like an intercontinental champion, and a British champion, I believe, as well. But like this whole like world champion, it's a different level, and I think like that's the utmost dream of any boxer, and it's amazing that you got to live that and experience that. Yeah. What about your brother?
No, he boxes for Great Britain. Gamal's a pro.
Gamal is a pro.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about him now? Is he still active? Is he trying to get a shot at the title or anything?
Yeah, so he was meant to fight for the European title in March in Italy, but obviously with coronavirus,
COVID, yeah.
And they're trying to reschedule that for October.
Okay, for October.
Yeah, and then Jalali, he qualified for his second Olympic Games in March. So so yeah, he was lucky to qualify because they shut down the tournament after he qualified for his Olympic Games.
Yeah, he'll get his moment for sure. Best of luck for both of them, for all three of you actually. I wanted also to ask you if you've ever been to the Middle East before.
Middle East, where have I been? I have been to the Middle East. I'm just trying to think all the countries I've been to. Like,
have you ever been to Yemen, for example, or Saudi Arabia, or Dubai, or? I
wanted to go to Yemen about 4 years ago, but I didn't get to go because of everything that's going on over there.
Yeah.
I was going to go to Dubai 2 years ago, but instead, after I won the title, I sent my mum there on holiday instead.
Nice. Nice. That's pretty cool. Did she like it?
Yeah, she enjoyed it. She loves all the Arab countries, and she's been all over.
She's been all over. Okay, cool. Apart from COVID, or before COVID, boxing started to grow in the Middle East, and as you saw, Anthony Joshua got his rematch here in Saudi Arabia. And before that, also the World Boxing Super Series final for the light middleweight or super middleweight happening here as well. How does that make you feel about being an Arab and now boxing is being recognized in the Arab countries? If it wasn't for COVID, I know more events would have happened, and there is a plan for after COVID for more events to take place here. How does that make you feel?
Yeah,
as an Arab, like originally Arab,
Yeah, that's brilliant. I want boxing to be in all the Arab countries, big time boxing in all Arab countries. That would be great. It'll bring more Arab fighters, to light.
Yeah,
that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see more Arab fighters, come through, win world titles, and keep putting Arab countries on the map, because it only seems that Arab fighters from the UK or the US are the ones that make it, and I'd like to see that, and I'd like to fight myself in some Arab countries also.
Yeah, that was my second question to you. Would you like it to fight in the Middle East, like around Arabs, surrounded by your people and all that? Definitely, right?
100%. There was talk before me fighting on the Joshua card in Saudi.
Oh, wow.
But there's a few politics there, so
sure
that didn't happen. But in future, I'd love to fight in Arab countries and show people, show my talent to all the Arab people.
Definitely, would love to have you here as well, Kal. Do you feel like, for example, down the line, maybe after retirement, would you be down to support boxing in the Middle East, let's say, or like at least in Yemen? Like, do you have that thought of probably bringing a boxing gym or probably an academy or workshops to the Middle East?
Yeah, most definitely. I'd like to travel all over the Middle East and share my experience of boxing with everybody coming through and people that want to learn boxing. Especially everything I've learned through the years, because I've been doing it a long time. And I'd like to think I've boxed at a good level, amateur and pro. I've still got a long way to go yet in my own career. But
I get that. That's why I said after retirement.
Yeah. But after boxing, most definitely, I'd love to do that.
Because from what I see, that from you as an example, and Nassim and Muhammad Rabi'i and many other Arab boxers, they only get under the spot or under the limelight when they train and they get invested in outside the Middle East, unfortunately. Because there's no roots to the game here. There's no essence to boxing yet. It's a very fresh sport. Although, like, for example, back in the days, Mustafa Hamsho as well, who's Syrian, who used to fight, but he had to move to New York to start fighting as well, or many other Arab boxers who had to relocate somewhere to fight. But there are a lot of other kids here in the Middle East that would love to fight. They have the passion for it, they have the heart for it, but they don't have any of the tools. And I think it's about time that we invest more in the sport so we can see more of Arab boxers and Arab champions on the map.
I 100% agree with what you're saying, and I think that will be the case, especially as more big events, more boxing events and big names come to fight in Saudi, in Dubai and places like that, even places like Bahrain, and I think a lot of fighters will start coming over there, big names to fight, and it will attract more people to boxing in the Middle East, and hopefully attract more promoters and businessmen also to get behind boxing.
I really hope that too, because as I said, there's a lot of thirsty and hungry guys here who are serious about it, but they just can't get out of the Middle East to get it done anywhere else. They probably lack the money, the financial background, or the language barrier or whatever, so they need help here. So I hope that really, I know we're on the right path now with all the events taking place here, and the future plans that I know that are in the pipeline for the region here. Let me ask you a question about British boxing in general. Growing up, were you more of a Nigel Benn guy or a Chris Eubank guy?
I think I was more of a Nigel Benn guy.
Nigel Benn, why?
Just the aggression.
Aggression, huh?
I think it's the aggression. He didn't care about anything. He just wanted to get in the ring and fight. He weren't like Chris Eubank's more of a showman, and he liked to show off a lot outside of the ring also. And I'd like to think that me and my brothers were more the quiet and humble type, and just like to go about our business in boxing, and that's it. Nice. We're family men, and we like to keep ourselves to ourselves. But and once we get in the ring, that's it. We're there to do business. We're there to
of course.
We're there to fight. So yeah, Nigel Benn was a man.
Yeah, I'm a Nigel Benn guy myself. Yeah. I like Nigel Benn a lot. I actually was very lucky to meet him in London, along with his son, Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really cool. They were very humble, and I like Connor a lot as well.
Yeah, he's a nice boxer. He has
a good future.
We have we've got a sponsor in common. So when my sponsor comes to my fights, he comes also.
Ah, nice.
So yeah, he's a very nice kid, and he's got a big future ahead.
Great. What do you think of Adam Hamid?
I haven't seen much of him, but I've seen the odd clip, and he looks talented. He looks like he can have a future in boxing also. Looks like he's got some good reflexes, like his dad did. Nice. And hopefully he's got some big shoes to fill. But inshallah he can, and that would be good to see. Yeah,
it's kind of as you said, it's a big shoe to fit. being the son of such a boxer, you know, like that's a big responsibility, right? That's a very big responsibility. But I'm somehow confident. I see the fire in his eyes that hopefully he will do what's required. Again, let's not forget, for example, Mayweather Jr. is the son of Floyd Mayweather, right? The boxer as well, and he overachieved what his dad was able to do, like by far. So let's hope the same example applies here. Okay, Kal, I'm gonna ask you also to name, because I do that with every boxer. I'm gonna ask you to name your top 10 pound for pound list, for example.
What, the current list?
The current list, yeah.
There would be Canelo.
Is that your number one?
You know, it's out of Canelo and Crawford, my number one.
Okay.
I'll probably go Crawford.
Crawford would be number one?
Yeah, Crawford, Canelo.
Same, yeah.
Inoue.
Oh, man. That monster, that beast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usyk.
Usyk, definitely.
I'd put Errol Spence in there also.
Sure.
I'm just trying to work it out. I don't want to put the whole list in. So I don't want to make I can't put them in a specific order.
Sure. I've got that before, like from other boxers as well, where they just start listing. They don't rank them in a specific order. It's kind of tough.
You know what? See, already I forgot Lomachenko.
Yeah, see?
So Lomachenko would be my number one because I've seen him since he was as a junior come through.
Definitely.
We've got Lomachenko in there anyway.
So you stepped in the ring also in your last fight with a boxer who's considered at one time the number one pound for pound, which is Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was your first loss. But can you tell us about how was it? What was it like stepping in the ring with such caliber?
Oh, it was a great experience. I learned a lot in the fight. I learned a lot about myself and a lot about him also. I always had huge respect for him because of what he's achieved in boxing and
of course,
and the person he is outside of boxing. I think I never followed the game plan that I was meant to follow as well. We had a few issues outside of the ring, but like I've done many interviews about the fight, and I'll never take anything away from Chocolatito. He was a very good fight on the night, and he deserved the win. And I wished him all the best after the fight. But I learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the gym and putting things together and working on how to improve. Sure.
That brings the next question, which is, what's next for Kal?
Well, first I'm going to move up in weight because the weight was very difficult for me to make, and then we'll see. I'll have a sit down. I'll have a meeting with my promoter Eddie Hearn, and we'll discuss moving forward. We've still got a lot to achieve, so I'm sure for the future. I'm looking forward to coronavirus. Kind of moving
getting
on.
Knocked out.
Yeah. And getting crowds back in boxing.
We wish you nothing but the best. We want to thank you for the opportunity.
I really want boxing to keep growing out there, in the whole of the Middle East, whenever there's an opportunity for boxing to get out there and for boxing to grow, I'm all for it. And in the future, whatever I can do to help that, I'd love to be involved. And if there's anything I can do to help you guys, you know where I am. And
we appreciate that very much. And also, if we can get Gamal and Jalal also to be hosted on our account, it would be amazing as well, to get the people to know who they are and to get a closer look at personalities and lives and what do they do in the ring and all of that. It would be great to have them as well.
Yeah, no doubt, no problem with that.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Khaled. We wish you nothing but the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.